Hello esports fans, welcome back to another episode of Nuts and Bolts. So much going on over the weekend with Dreamhack Melbourne 2022 happening there, but we got a heap of LCO news to cover. We've got some HCS, we've got some CSGO, but before we get into all that, I'm going to get back into our favourite World of Tanks stuff here. So tough round over the weekend with ActionX taking on the Sentinels, the Comets taking on the Scorpions, and the Matildas taking on the Panthers. So there's some interesting games there. The ActionX game in particular was always going to be tough. They started out on Sand River. That I believe that was ActionX's map choice. I'm not 100% on that. Don't quote me on that. I should really research better. But the interesting thing about the matches on Sand River were that both went to the attacking side, which is not something you normally see on Sand River. So it was very interesting to watch. The Sentinels did take out the first game, and then ActionX came back and did quite well. There was a couple of little things that I think the Sentinels could have done a bit better. Like there's a push that you can see at the moment where they got the overmatch on Deval. I mean, the angle was there, but it did allow for the ActionX to just solidify a lot of map control in the southeast there, and eventually it won them the game. Dell was already low on health. ActionX just got the shots in and managed to remove the Sentinels tanks and take the win there on attack. And they did eventually go on to win the series 3-1. So that's quite an interesting thing there. I was not expecting ActionX to be able to pull that off, but that's good for them. They had a hard battle against the Scorpions last week, and to see them come up again against the Sentinels and take the win, that was really, really good to see from them, and makes them a big threat. So keep an eye on the ActionX. It's going to be quite entertaining seeing them. The next game of the night, unfortunately, was interesting for the wrong reasons. The Comets were only able to bring 4 tanks into the battle, and when you're coming up against any team, it's going to be bad. But the Scorpions in particular, it meant it was going to be a hard night, and it would be no surprise to anybody to find out that the Scorpions won 4-0. I did want to bring up this tactic that the Comets tried in Himmelsdorf, the first game of Himmelsdorf here. So if you're watching on twitch.tv/GameOnOz, you'll see that the Comets grouped up in the top right-hand corner of the map at A0 there, and they just waited. And this to me was a really good play, because that line that they sat on, the A line there, is a good scouting line where a lot of tanks sometimes go down to see. But what happened was that Benny from the Scorpions turned one street early, and it just gave the Comets this ability to go around the corner and just eliminate him and just bring it back to a 4-on-4, which is really the only way that you can play a game with 4 tanks against 5. Just that extra gun means so much more in the game, and just watching how quickly Benny got deleted, it was like 3 shots right into his back, and he knew he was in trouble. It was that meme of Ralph Fugger going, "Ha ha, I'm in danger." That's exactly what Benny was going through there. He just knew as soon as the Comets rolled around that corner that it was all over for him. Shots came in, bang, bang, bang. Benny is suddenly down to 494 health, and then Dark Knight rolls around the corner and finishes him off. Once again, unfortunately, wasn't enough for the Comets to take a win with the 4 tanks, but it was a good, surprising tactic. And I think if you're playing with 4 tanks, that's what you need to do. You need to bring out something surprising, something different. And in this case, Himmelsdorf worked for them. They were able to isolate a tank early. Unfortunately, not able to pick up the win, as I said, as Scorpions went on to win the series 4-0 there. The next game of the night was the one that I was actually the most interested in, for a couple of reasons. One, because I think the Matilda versus the Panthers is always a good matchup. And this is the first game that Bales has played in for the Panthers, so I was very, very interested to see how he would fit into the team, particularly with Madhouse, another top-notch pickup from the Panthers in the off-season. And, you know, they've already got a pretty strong lineup with Twit, JS, and Dastardly, and God Mode as well, so there's some really good talent in there. And just having Madhouse and Bales there to lift them as well, it was really great to see, because the Panthers did go on to win 3-1. But in particular, I wanted to talk about the Siegfried line, because this is a new map to World of Tanks ANZPL. And it was interesting watching this, because in this particular game, I think Bales was the one, he rotated to the north twice. It was just interesting to watch how the strategies are coming out here, and particularly being on defense. Like, there's not a lot Matildas could do here, especially when they're all grouped up. They could try and go for a one flag cap, but in the end they decide to do what Matildas do best and roll in numbers, try to share that damage around. But Bales and Madhouse, just they knew what they were doing. They had JS and Twit covered. Twit giving JS a bit of protection there as well, and it wasn't long before the Matildas just started to fall down there and giving the Panthers the win on the Siegfried line there. And as I said, Panthers went on to win 3-1, which does put the Matildas in a bit of a precarious position. We play 10 rounds and we're only 2 rounds in, but being at the bottom of the table this early in the piece, it means that it puts the pressure on, and you've got to bring out those wins, and especially with taking the tiebreaker loss against the Comets last week and now losing against the Panthers, I think it's going to be a tough season for the Matildas, because they've still got to face in the first round robin the Scorpions and the Sentinels and Action X, who are looking really good at the moment. So that's going to be pretty tough for the Ducks out there. Not saying it's too much easier for the Panthers. Although they do have the Comets in their future for this first round robin, but there's also the Scorpions and Action X for them. So it's going to be an interesting few weeks in Tanks, and it'll be very cool to see the way the ladder shapes up there. So let's just have a look at the results from this week again. So as I said, we've got Action X defeating the Sydney Sentinels 3-1, which was a bit of a shock, but CJ was just pulling out some good strats in there, and there were good calls for the Adelaide Action X, and able to take that win off the reigning champions, which is really, really good to see. Like I said, with 4 tanks, no surprise that the Scorpions beat the Comets 4-0 there, and I think we're seeing the benefits of having Bales and Madhouse in the same team here to complement the rest of the Panthers lineup. I know I've spoken about Bales and Madhouse a lot, but just the rest of the Panthers lineup is still solid as well. Like JS and Dastardly, God Mode, Twit, like these are still class players. And seeing them get the win 3-1 on against Melbourne Matildas, and seeing how Bales and Madhouse, like particularly in the second game on the Siegfried line, you cannot deny the quality of those two playing together. And it's going to be an interesting series for the Panthers. So hopefully we'll be able to see more of Bales and Madhouse playing together there and get some good wins for the Panthers. On to the ladder. So you can see there's Scorpions on top with the 2 wins against the Comets and Action X the week before, so they're sitting on top with 1 win and 1. Well, we've got 1 win and 1 loss for the Panthers, the Action X, and the Sentinels, all sitting on 3 points each at the moment. Comets with their 1 tiebreaker win last week, sitting on 2 points, and in last place for the moment. The former Christchurch Conquerors, now Melbourne Matildas, again reborn, on 1 point from their tiebreaker loss against the Comets. But I know what you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for the fantasy league results, and who can blame you? Like this is good stuff, because like there's gold up for grabs every week for the person that tops the fantasy league charts, and I believe there's even end of season prizes as well. So seeing the players that regularly feature here is going to be key to how your team will progress. So we can see that Madhouse, 5-star Madhouse, up there on 363.6 points. Surprising that only 5%, just under 6% of people chose him. JT, no surprise that he's up there. Like against the only thing against the Comets though is because they had one tank less. It was one less tank for the Scorpions to be able to damage. So seeing 2 Scorpions players in there is actually a little bit surprising, but good on them for being there, because Aussie's in there too, as well as Val coming from the Action X's win over the Sentinels, and Critical from the Matildas rounding out that lineup. Most importantly though, who's coming up next week? So let's have a look at these matches. So Melbourne Matildas looking to end their losing streak against the Adelaide Action X, which is going to be a tough map. It's going to be interesting, with Action X coming off a win against the Sentinels. Their confidence has got to be high, and they looked very strong there. The Comets versus the Panthers. Hopefully in here we can get some more action from the Comets, because I would like to see them be competitive. Getting the points on the board in the first week against the Matildas was great, but I think they need to improve a fair bit still if they're going to be competitive in this league. It's still exciting to see. I do love a change up, and I do love the new tactics that they're bringing. But yeah, they still got ways to go. And then, of course, the last match of round 3, we have the Sydney Derby, the Scorpions versus the Sentinels, grand final rematch. This has got to be my game of the week right here, because like you just cannot imagine these two teams. These are 2 juggernauts of teams in the ANZPL, and it's no surprise that when they match up against each other, there's just really good action. So keep in touch with that on twitch.tv/World of Tanks ANZ on Friday from 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time there. I know where I'm going to be. I'll see you there too. But we do have a lot more stuff to go. And because, like I said at the beginning, Dreamhack Melbourne was on at the beginning of, well, not at the beginning, but over the weekend, and there were lots going on. There was the third place LCO match between the Pentanet and Order that happened on Friday night. Look, the storyline for Order, it would have been such a send-off to see them win, but unfortunately wasn't meant to be, with Pentanet taking the win there quite convincingly. And my hearts go out to the Order boys and everybody involved with Order for what they're going through at the moment with the collapse of Order. It's you never like to see it, but those boys played their hearts out, and congratulations on a great season, finishing third. Well, they finished second in the ladder, but in terms of playoffs, they finished third. So that's a great finish for them, and hopefully we'll see them around for next season as well. Well, the players at least. Order probably won't be there. Sorry, guys. But that's set up on Sunday for the LCO Grand Final. So let's play some footage there from the LCO Twitch channel of the final moment. This really was what put the nail in the coffin for Pentanet.gg in the last game. But I'll let Rusty and Skimmy tell you, because they can tell you better than I ever can.
And so the Drake gets reset, gets started again. Prater shows in mid. Chiefs, they do this so quickly.
Yuri and Aladoric flanking. In they go. Infernal Soul picked up by the Chiefs right now. Off it goes Golden. In goes Aladoric. Charms them all. They're all charmed at his commands. Oh, Taboon! Absolutely. There we go. That's the wipe. It's only Yuri and a Dream and 5 healthy Chief members.
Yuri, and nothing short of a miracle required to stay in this game and stay in this series. Chiefs are knocking on death's door, but they bounce back immediately. They're so class.
Is this it? It has to be, Rusty. The curse is broken for Rays. He's been trying since 2016. The Chiefs now are the most successful org in Oceanic history. They've won 5 finals.
Looks on the faces of all the PGG players and in the cams there, and the look of jubilation on the Chiefs players. As soon as they got that Infernal Soul, you just knew it was all over. Pentanet tried to engage to remove the Chiefs from there, but that charm from Aladoric just, you can't do any better than that. So Chiefs end up winning 3-1 in the best of 5 series. Pentanet did not go quietly. I'll tell you that. Like the game 3, Pentanet came out and just stomped. They, I don't know what was said in that break, but they were on fire. Chiefs didn't even look in the game. The first 2 games, though, they were all finished in under 30 minutes, but going the Chiefs' way, of course. And they were just looking the stronger team in there, the Chiefs. And the whole split, they've been looking the stronger team. And in the last game, it was a bit of a seesaw, but just towards the end, Chiefs just scaled too well. The team fights went the way of the Chiefs. And yeah, it's deserved. Like the whole split, I think they've gone 27-1. So they've only lost 1 game, and that was against Pentanet in this best of 5 series. So it's, yeah, you cannot deny that this is the best team in OCE, and I'm glad that we're sending them to Worlds, because I want our best chance at Worlds. I want to see them do well. I want to see a team get out of the play-in stages, maybe even get out of the group stages as well. So I want to actually, no, let me say that. I want to see an OCE team win Worlds. Let's do it. This is our year. Come on, Chiefs. This is what we're doing. But yes, so Chiefs are off to Worlds. Worlds in North America, so there's a few different cities in North America they're playing, and not just America, because there's some games in Mexico City as well. That is starting on the 29th of September and running until the 5th of November, so tune in for that. Cannot wait to see that. And just to finish off with some other LCO news as well, some of you may have seen that Gravitas are not returning to the LCO, and their license is being picked up by Team Bliss, which will be very, very exciting to see. They're a new team entering. They haven't announced their team yet, but it'll be interesting to see if maybe it's a mix of Gravitas players, maybe some Order players. But always exciting to see a new team and a new org enter the competition. So good luck to Team Bliss when Split 1 kicks off next year. But of course, LCO wasn't the only thing happening at Dreamhack over the weekend. We had the HCS regional qualifier, with the winner of that heading off to I am sorry, I've had a mind blank. To the Orlando Major, that's the one. So that's going to be super, super exciting to see that. I think actually, just let me double check, because I'm pretty sure that. Oh no, it's only I thought it might be the top 2 teams. Oh, hang on. The first place team qualified for pool play at Orlando Major. The top 3 teams gain travel fees for Orlando Major. So I'm not quite sure what that means. I mean, it obviously means they get their fees paid for, but maybe there's an open qualifier for the Orlando Major. But once again, it's something I should have done in my prep and looked up and found out better. But that's okay, because before we go any further, we have got some more footage from Dreamhack and HCS OCE Regional Championship.
The Chiefs going through. Benji taken out. 30 seconds to go. It's just going to be 30 seconds of victory lap for the Chiefs.
30 seconds left to go, but the boys on Mindfreak haven't given up. As you can see, Junior making a push right now with another member of his team in order to hold on to any hope that they might have in trying to secure this series and reverse sweep on the Chiefs. We are coming down to the final moments, ladies and gentlemen. 10 seconds left. All Chiefs are going to do is play as passively as possible. 5 seconds remain, and a smack might as well seal the deal.
Yes, it really was 30 seconds of a victory lap for the Chiefs. They're taking out HCS Regional Championship. They played well so well. They played well so well, because I speak for a living right here. They played so well through the whole series, and they really deserve to get that win. Their opponents, their Mind Freak, they came to play as well. This was actually the third time that these teams met in the HCS Regional Championship OCE. So the first time they met was in the group stages. And Chiefs beat Mind Freak at 3-0. So definitely got the win there with a very dominant display. But then they met again in the upper bracket grand final. So both teams still went through the upper bracket, and Chiefs won 3-2. So once again, Mind Freak showed up to play. They wanted that win. Unfortunately, didn't get it there and got sent to the lower bracket. And in the lower bracket, Mind Freak defeated Divine Mind 3-1 to get back into that grand final. That Chiefs have taken out 4-2. So the finals were best of 5, but the grand final was best of 7. So seeing another OCE team qualify for an international event is just amazing. I cannot wait to see it. It's just super exciting. And Chiefs having 2 representations in international events from the one event over the weekend at Dreamhack Melbourne there. It's just incredible. I love seeing an org that's so strong and just can produce these players. So well done to them. Congratulations to Mind Freak for making it into the final as well. But good luck to Chiefs at the Orlando Major. So that wasn't the only stuff going on there. There was one more game that happened in that weekend, and that was the ESL Challenger Melbourne 2022 series. So this one was a lot of international players as well, which was cool to see. And in the end, it was Pain Gaming defeating Imperial Esports 2-1 to take home that, and Pain Gaming getting entry into the ESL Pro Conference season 17. God, I wish I would, speak properly. But that's all. Yeah, I've been talking for 20 minutes now, so you're probably getting sick of my voice. But I do want to say congratulations to Pain Gaming for winning that tournament and getting entry into the ESL Pro Conference season 17. It's great to see so much action happening at Dreamhack. Live LAN events back in Australia. It's just, words cannot express, like seeing all the photos that everybody put up and seeing the fun that everybody was having. Game On Oz community member Mercury was there. He was keeping us in touch with everything that was going on. It was just like, next time I'm buying tickets. I don't care. I don't care how much it costs. I will be at Dreamhack because it is just it looked like such an incredible experience. And nothing beats a live LAN event. You cannot replicate that experience online. But live LAN events, I am all for, and cannot wait to see more of them in the future. That's all we have for Nuts and Bolts this week. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to me prattle on and trip over my own tongue for a little bit. Cannot wait to get Natty back so that I'm not the one talking all the time and not making myself look like a fool. Get well soon, Natty, and we will see you all next week.